and there was literally like 30 police officers through the whole hotel. I was just feeling sorry for the lady. The lady had to call her parents, the family's parents of her boyfriend, with that story like your son died.
Hey folks, Pete here from Thairish Times. As we say in Ireland, what's the story? That means how you doing, how's it going? And if you want to really give it that maximum oomph, you add a H in on story and you say, what's the story? You can add a horse in there as well. You could say, what's the story horse? Just means hello. Anyway, we have an interview for you today with a guy called Chai from Holland. And before I show you that, let me show you this. Check out the weather in Bangkok at the moment. It's supposed to be the hottest time of the year right now, but it's been raining for the last 2 days, and this to me looks like rainy season weather. Rainy season clouds. Very strange for this time of year. And it's very cool today as well. Probably about 30 degrees. It's pretty cool for Bangkok. I don't know, the weather's been a little bit different this year compared to last year. Don't know why. Anyway, today we're going to talk to Chai from Holland, and we're going to talk about a really serious topic today. It's a tragic story, so there's no kind of laughing or joking going on. It's a really serious story. So anyway, let's get into it. And just one more thing actually, at the end of this video you're going to hear me do a call out for 10k. Well, I woke up this morning and I hit the 10k. We're over the mark, we got to 10k. I'm so happy, I'm delighted. It's a lot of work to get to 10k. It's an established channel. You've got 10,000 people on a channel. Wow. Cool. I'm so happy, and thanks to you for hitting that subscription button, watching the videos and liking and commenting, makes it all worthwhile, so I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And just like to say one more thing as well. This interview today is along the lines of the previous interview that I did, and the previous one was about addiction. I spoke about 3 kind of common forms of addiction in Thailand, and this one is, like I said, it's a bit similar. I was really surprised by the comments in the previous video. A lot of people came out and they said they suffered with problems with addiction, alcoholism, drug abuse. And I just like to say to those people that wrote in the comment section, you have my ultimate respect. It takes a lot of courage to do what you did, open up and talk about your problems. So fair play to you. That's not an easy thing to do. You got my respect on that one. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go meet Chai and let's hear his story. Chai, how you doing?
Good, Pete, thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
So tell everybody, Chai, where are you from?
I'm from the Netherlands. My dad is Dutch and my mom is Indonesian.
Okay, and you're over here in Thailand. What are you doing over here?
I started a channel after I lost my job in London. Basically, I was working in the hotel scene, and due to COVID, I was sitting at home. And after sitting at home for about a year, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do something with something else with my life than just sitting at home and watching YouTube. I was like, I'm gonna try to do YouTube.
So you always wanted to be a YouTuber?
No, never had that intention. No, I never really had any experience with editing or anything. But I saw other YouTubers. I know Thailand. I've been a few times in Thailand, and I knew my money would last a little bit longer. And the people are amazing. Everything is good about Thailand, in my opinion, still after so many years. So it's like, let's go to Thailand and start a YouTube channel.
So you're traveling through Thailand at the moment, or what's going on?
Yeah, I keep on traveling really. Eventually I'm gonna settle down a little bit. The visa situation at the moment is not really ideal at the moment because I'm still on a tourist visa. But I'm trying to stay here for a longer while, so maybe a year or so.
So Chai, you have a really tragic story about an event that you experienced while you were traveling. Can you tell us about that?
I can, yeah. I was never planning to tell this on camera at all. But when we talked about this off camera, I thought, you know what, it's been so many years now, and I'm ready to say this on camera as well, yeah.
Okay, well, take it away.
Where to start, Pete? The story happened actually after being traveling in Thailand for just a month, about 10 years ago. And my visa expired. I was doing the Southeast Asian backpacking thing like everyone knows about, and flew to Vientiane, the capital city of Laos. Met my mate there. We checked into a hostel. Soon enough, we were like, it was evening, let's go grab some food, have a beer. But when we exit the guest house, the lady from the guest house there was saying, Chai, sir, please be back before 11 o'clock because the door is gonna shut. Everywhere is gonna shut as well. Like all the bars, restaurant, everything will shut. I don't know if it's still like this. But yeah, out of security reasons, they also had to shut the front door of the hotel guest house. So I had to be back at 11. Okay, we know that. So we did go to a bar after dinner, me and my friend, just the two of us. The Belgian bar, you know about the tin, it was a tin kind of theme, this bar, and we had Belgian beers, and only like one or two. We had a hotel room at the end of the hallway, but this room had no bathroom. So we had to actually go to the front of the hallway where the stairway was as well, to get to the toilet, to get to the sink where we can wash ourselves and brush our teeth. We were getting ready for the night. Basically, me and my friend. We finished, we walked back together and we passed this door, the very first door of that hallway on the left side. We heard noise. We heard a very deep noise, like snoring, but something else, like next level snoring. So my buddy Phil, he was like, do you hear that? You can imagine like waking up or sleeping, trying to sleep next to this person, like, please don't snore like this. And we laughed about it and we carried on to our door, which was opposite on the end of the hallway. Went to bed, we were sleeping, and roughly around 1 o'clock we both woke up. There was a fight going on and we're like, what's going on? And me and Phil were like, well, it's not our fight, you know? And then suddenly a lady starts screaming, saying, hey, help, help, help. A lady or anyone should get up then, you know, if someone is screaming for help. So I told Phil, like, Phil, listen, this might be a trap, I don't know, but it was a bit of a weird setting anyway, because we had to go back before 11, the doors would close out of security reasons, so I was a bit on edge. I said, you better stay here, I go check what the lady is saying help for. Because maybe when we both exit the room, someone comes in through the window or something. That's what I was thinking. So Phil stayed in the room. I opened the door, looked to the other end of the hallway, towards the stairway, let's say, where the bathroom was. The screaming stopped, and there was a taller guy and a less taller person, a lady standing in front of a door. The door was open, clearly, because there was light coming out of the room. And she was in shock. She was standing there like... And I walked up to her quickly. I knew the worst part, or the urgency of the situation was over, because there was no screaming anymore. And I walked up to her, I was like, what's happened? And I looked inside of the room, Pete. I saw black puke over the wall, like all covered in black vomit. In the window there was puke. The window was open. The person clearly tried to puke like outside the window. But there was a weird color, you know. And anyway, I looked further and I saw someone laying on bed, and it looked like a body, as in the color of the guy who was laying there. It was white, pale, but also with dark purple colored. It looked not good. And I was seeing this, you know, apparently, like, what happened when I opened the doors, it must have been a hotel manager or something, must have opened, around that same time, opened the other door, and then they were like, fuck, what is this? So I arrived in that moment of shock. And I'm like, you know what, there's no reason or panic wouldn't do anything, shock wouldn't do anything, so I walked inside of that room. Pete, I felt energy, a lot of energy, bad energy in that room. I need to get out of there, and I want to help as well. So I dragged him out, and I felt the skin. It was cold already. And I'm not a doctor, but I had the feeling already, this is too late. You know, if a body is cold already, that color as well, didn't look good, but I wasn't thinking, I was just doing. And we had him on the floor in the hallway. The lady was giving mouth to mouth after I gave the, what you call it
CPR?
Again? CPR, yes. So I was doing that, just not with the electric thing, no, just like, there was nothing like it. So we just like improvising, and I called my buddy Phil as well at this stage. I knew this was no robbery, no, this was actually people in help, in need. Phil came by, I asked him to call an ambulance after 20 minutes, felt like an hour. There's 2 nurses coming up. There's this stairways going up, and they're like trying to listen if his heart was still beating. Stupid enough, I got a bit angry at them, like, come on, he's not alive, help! Like, carried him down, and off they went. The body, the girlfriend of that person that just died, and a friend, and I don't know, like, if you want me to carry on like the next day.
All right, well, first of all, how old was this person, right? We're talking about, this is a man, right?
Yeah.
How old was this guy?
He must have been like early 20s, where everyone I met was about early 20s.
All right, so early 20s, and you said the vomit was black.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I'm going to ask more questions, but okay, let's go into the next day.
Well, the next day, me and Phil, we went back to bed, back to our room. Had a bit of a weird night, like, you know, you don't sleep well after, or I didn't sleep well after that, but managed to get some hours in, and woke up the next day. And there was literally like 30 police officers, between 30 and 40 police officers through the whole hotel, looking at the bathroom that we brushed our teeth in the room. There were standing a lot of police officers. And we walked past the police, and I almost want to say like, hey, you guys need my help or something. Maybe I need to say what happened, and my buddy was like, "Try, don't interrupt them, don't get involved." And as we were talking, as we were passing, we looked in the room where it all happened, and it was totally clean. Nothing happened in there. The bed was made already. So there was no forensic team looking properly, like what, you know, everything was gone already. I'm sure there was a lot of like newspapers there. They want to, you know, probably say something what happened as well, and the police was involved. I shouldn't get involved, my buddy was saying, because you don't know what happened. And what do you think happened, Chai? And I was like, well, you know, there was a lot of drugs these younger days. Like, there was a lot of drugs around, backpackers. I'm not talking about weed, but like proper, like, you think of.
Are we talking about opium?
In that region, yeah, some periods of the year it's there. I never touched it.
But if I asked you, I said, what if you had to say what drug it might have been? The backpackers. What kind of drug?
I don't know. Well, what?
Because that area is famous for opium.
Well, that's
so
what I think.
Probably opium.
Me and Phil, we were big drinkers back in the day. He's English, so I sometimes go back to England, and we have quite a few pints, but I never came near to any drugs in Southeast Asia at all. This is not the place to do this.
I mean, it could also be alcohol. He could have choked on his vomit.
Something like that, but
you were there, right?
Color.
You were in that scene, like you were traveling through backpackers.
Yeah.
You know, and that area is there. You know, I've travelled to Laos before.
Have you been to Vientiane?
I've been been to Vientiane, and I know that there is opium there.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Golden Triangle. I mean, it's famous for opium.
Yeah. With that thought, I decided to not get involved. And maybe there was drugs there, even if there was no drugs. They need to come up with a story. I mean, the police needed to come up with the story. It would be a good opportunity to have a kind of a war on drugs and give this as an example, and they could include me as well, add a few kilos of heroin or whatever. I was like, this is not worth to mingle in. Like, don't get involved. I'm actually afterwards, I'm happy I didn't step in.
Yeah, so you didn't know this guy. You just happened to come across the dead body in the hostel.
I didn't know the lady, I didn't know the guy, didn't know.
Yeah, to be honest with you, you know, by what you did was the smart choice, because you don't want to get involved with the police when there's a drug, especially with drugs in Southeast Asia, and it's a drug case, and you don't know anybody, and maybe they want a scapegoat. You're in a foreign country, it's Laos.
That's the thing. Like, if I can help someone directly, I always do that. But in this case, there was too much, too much risk.
Where was this guy from?
Eastern Europe. I can't remember where it was from exactly. She told me like where she was from. I asked her. I remember asking her. Don't remember the answer anymore, Pete. Then again, this was 10 years ago, and it's a bit of a traumatic happening as well, I think. So I don't know. I think that plays with your memory as well, doesn't it?
So the next day you left and you continued on your travels. Where'd you go from there?
We went, soon enough we went to Vientiane, the tubing town in the middle of Laos.
Okay.
Yeah, and me and Phil, we pretty much didn't talk about this happening. Like, he was basically there as well. We basically experienced the same thing, other than it was me that actually dragged the body out. But yeah, we didn't really talk about it.
Yeah, well, it's a traumatic event, you know. The big moral of the story is, for anyone watching, don't mess around with drugs in Southeast Asia. Don't mess around with drugs anywhere, but certainly not in a foreign country.
I was just feeling sorry for the lady. The lady had to, if she was allowed to, if the police allowed her, she had to call her parents, the family's parents of her boyfriend, with that story like, your son died. No matter if it's OD'd or not, no, they're in a foreign country. Where's the body gonna, this is gonna be the worst thing. I was thinking of that, big time, worrying about her. Maybe she's landing up in jail. I never followed up, but I wanted to forget the whole thing.
Well, Chai, thanks for telling your story.
Pleasure.
I'm gonna plug Chai's channel now. You got a channel called Chai Travel. Tell us about your channel.
Wow, what a switch, eh? Nothing like this on Chai Travel's channel. It's always about positive vibes, really. So I'm never really keen to tell these kind of things.
Life is not all about, you know, positivity. There are some sad stories out there, and if anyone's watching this and it stops anyone from taking drugs, then the video has done a world of good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But anyway, he's got a channel called Chai Travel. I'll leave a link in the description. Check out Chai's videos. He's on the streets now, doing YOYs, interviewing people on the streets. He's done a lot of travel content as well. So, nice one, Chai.
Thanks.
And I'm going to plug Thairish Times as well. We're nearly on 10K. We're not far away. I need your help to get there.
It's going to happen, but it's only going to get there when you're going to subscribe to this very channel.
Yeah, I need you to subscribe and give my heart and soul for 10K. 10K, here we come. Thanks very much. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.